Season 2, Episode 1 of Game of Thrones, titled The North Remembers, picks up after the dramatic events of Season 1. The episode establishes the new power struggles following King Robert Baratheon's death and Ned Stark's execution. King Joffrey Baratheon rules from King's Landing with his mother, Queen Regent Cersei Lannister, exerting influence over him. Joffrey's cruelty is immediately showcased when he forces a knight to drink himself to death, and later threatens Sansa Stark. Tyrion Lannister arrives in King's Landing as the new Hand of the King, much to Cersei's displeasure. He quickly asserts his authority, pointing out her failures and planning to manage the kingdom more wisely. Meanwhile, tensions between the Lannisters and their enemies continue to grow. In the north, Robb Stark strengthens his position as king in the north, holding Jaime Lannister prisoner. He sends his mother, Catelyn Stark, to negotiate with King Renly Baratheon, one of Robert's brothers who has also claimed the throne. Robb hopes to gain an alliance to defeat the Lannisters. Meanwhile, he confronts the Lannister envoy about releasing his sisters, Sansa and Arya, and warns that his direwolf, Grey Wind, is ready to tear apart anyone who opposes him. The political landscape becomes even more complicated as multiple factions prepare for war. Beyond the Wall, Jon Snow and the Night's Watch continue their mission into the wilderness, staying at the home of Craster, a wildling who has an unsettling relationship with his daughters, offering them as wives to himself. Lord Commander Mormont warns Jon not to provoke Craster, as they rely on his information for survival. Jon, however, is disturbed by what he sees and begins to question the morality of their mission. This part of the episode foreshadows greater threats beyond the Wall, as the presence of the White Walkers remains an ominous mystery. Across the Narrow Sea, Daenerys Targaryen leads her small band of followers across the Red Waste, struggling to find food and shelter. Her dragons are still young, and her people suffer from starvation and exhaustion. Daenerys sends her bloodriders to scout ahead for any signs of civilization. This portion of the episode highlights her growing responsibility as a leader, and the hardships she faces in her journey to reclaim the Iron Throne. The episode concludes with Stannis Baratheon, Robert's older brother, declaring his claim to the Iron Throne. With the help of the mysterious Red Priestess, Melisandre, Stannis publicly renounces the faith of the Seven and embraces the Lord of Light. In a dramatic display, Melisandre convinces Stannis' followers of his destiny by having his advisor, Sir Davos Seaworth, witness her surviving a poisoned cup unharmed. This scene sets the stage for Stannis' brutal and uncompromising campaign for the throne, marking him as a key player in the unfolding war. The episode ends with multiple factions preparing for battle, making it clear that Westeros is heading into a full-scale war. In Season 2, Episode 2 of Game of Thrones, titled The Nightlands, the story expands as the political and military tensions across Westeros continue to rise. The episode opens with Tyrion Lannister's arrival in King's Landing, where he takes his place as Hand of the King to his nephew, Joffrey Baratheon. Tyrion's sharp wit and strategic mind quickly become evident as he attempts to manage the chaotic court and undermine the influence of Queen Cersei, his sister. One of his first acts is to interrogate and assess key figures in the capital, including the king's small council, while subtly asserting his authority. Meanwhile, Jon Snow, at the Wall, continues his training with the Night's Watch, trying to prove himself as a capable member. The episode focuses on his relationships with other members of the Watch, particularly Samwell Tarly, who is both a source of comic relief and an unlikely source of wisdom for Jon. Jon's sense of duty and his growing awareness of the dangers beyond the Wall start to solidify as he is further exposed to the complexities of life in the Night's Watch. His internal conflict about his role is explored as he seeks to understand what it truly means to be a member of the Watch. In the east, Daenerys Targaryen and her small group of followers continue their journey across the Red Waste. After the death of her brother Viserys, Daenerys is now fully in command of the group, but the journey is grueling and uncertain. The episode delves into her struggles as a leader, with a particularly poignant moment, but it's clear that survival in the desert is her immediate concern. Finally, Theon Greyjoy makes a significant appearance as he returns home to the Iron Islands. Theon's complicated loyalty is put into question as he reunites with his family, particularly his father, Balon Greyjoy, who has plans of his own to take advantage of the chaos in Westeros and assert the Iron Islands' independence. Theon's decision to side with his family and potentially betray his former Stark allies sets up his internal conflict and marks the beginning of his darker trajectory in the series.
I should be calling you Milady.
This episode showcases the expanding scope of Game of Thrones, with political, familial, and military tensions brewing across the various storylines.